everyone, welcome back to another Cook With Me Saturday lunch. Today we are not going to complicate anything. It's straightforward. We are going to start by making my version of sweet and sour wings. But I do know that other people they make it differently, but I prefer to use what I have in the house instead of going to buy if I want to make something. So yes, I just added olive oil onto the pan, added my garlic ginger paste and the peppers that I had previously frozen, and I just added paprika onto my pan, and I am adding onion and garlic powder. I always say this time around I mix them together, and I just added chili flakes onto the pan, and I'm stirring everything in. So it's nothing fancy, it's nothing hectic, but it does taste delicious. And I just added a little bit, let's say quarter teaspoon of garlic into the pan as well, and then we are going to let that cook for a little bit. And I just added 50 grams of tomato paste. I'm cheating. I don't want to use tomatoes. I don't want to use fresh tomatoes. I don't want to use canned tomatoes, because I feel like either way, both of them I will have to blend them, and I am so not in the mood into making this a difficult task. I want it to be something so quick, so easy, and something that is straightforward. Saturdays are for resting, though I love making a fuss about it, because if I don't make a fuss about it in terms of me cooking, I think we would somehow feel like we need to go out. I'm trying to avoid that, and I'm adding about I think this is 8 grams or something. I'll check, of concentrated beef stock. I added 2. I didn't have chicken stock, so I'm adding 2 onto the pan, and I am going to stir that in. I should be adding this onto the water before, like dissolving it onto water before I put it in a pan. But I feel like in that way, sometimes it's a bit tricky, because sometimes you put more water and then you will be left with stock that you did not use, because the water was too much, but you still needed that flavor. So I prefer to put the stock straight onto the pan or pot, and then I will add my water bit by bit, because I do not want to throw away any left stock. I don't know if I can put it in a fridge, but I choose to do it this way. It's safer for me, because if you've seen, I add water bit by bit until it gets to the consistency that I want, and this is how it looks so far, though I do need it to simmer down a little bit before I can take another step. And this is yellow salt, as always, for taste. After it's finishing off, I might add a stock or beef stock or salt if I'm cooking, but I always finish it off with yellow salt. Yes, I'm addicted. Sue me. I'm addicted. And my new favorite, habanero sauce. I told you guys, this is my new thing, my new favorite thing, and I'm scared I'm eating it too much, but listen, it tastes delicious. So we are going to use it up until we don't want to see it close to us, up until we overuse it. I don't know when that is going to be. As for now, I'm enjoying using it. Like, it tastes absolutely amazing, and I'm going to annoy you guys about how amazing it tastes, but that's how we do in this channel. So this is how it's looking. I think it's coming all right. And then I'm going to balance that acidic level that is on the sauce with a teaspoon of sugar, though I did go in again with half a teaspoon. So the total amount that I had put it in there was 1.5 teaspoon, and I am making pasta on the other pot, and while my sauce is simmering down. So this was I've already eaten it. This was absolutely delicious, guys. The sauce on the wings, you see, it's simmering down so nicely. That's how I want it. I want it to be a relish, but not too watery. And I just added powdered chilies, and I added parsley, dry parsley, and dry basil. That chilies, if you've been here, is the chilies that I had dried in the oven and then let it sit on the counter for a couple of days, and I blended it into powder. But I do not know the name of the chili because I had bought it at Joburg Market, so I don't know what it was, but it is very hot. It's those red ones, the small ones. So this is what I wanted to achieve with the wings. The wings, I just seasoned them with a little bit of salt and a little bit of oil and put them in an oven because I did not want to boil them. I did it in that way to prevent them from falling off, because I feel like wings can be fragile sometimes if you boil them, and still have to cook them again, maybe fry them or whatever. But I decided that I was going to put them in an oven until they are cooked, and then I'm going to cook my sauce, my relish on top of the stove top, and then I'm just going to add them onto the sauce, let them soak in that sauce while I continue cooking. And it was hot. Ooh, guys, lately I'm giving my family spicy food, hey, but whatever, they manage. So on this pan, I'm now starting on onion soup, or should I say onion sauce. I just added butter onto the pan, and then I added chopped onion onto the pan, and I'm finishing off the little bit of garlic that I had grated earlier onto the pan as well. And then we are going to fry that up until it's tender and slightly brown. Yes, that's what we're looking for. Although my heat was on high, I would have loved for it to be on slow, but we forget sometimes. This is how it's coming along. This is how it's looking. It's how I want it. It's how I want it to look, and I'm happy with how it looks. And then we are adding 1 tablespoon. This one that I'm adding is just an extra, guys. You don't have to, but 1 tablespoon, or let's say 1.25 tablespoon of flour onto the pan. I've realized that people who are that prefers to eat gluten-free food, they are in trouble, because almost all the sauces are made with flour. So yeah, once I had stirred in the flour onto the onion, then I proceeded into adding the water onto the pan, and once again you add it bit by bit, not all at once, bit by bit, up until you get to the consistency or the thickness or whatever it is that you want your sauce to look like. So for me, this is how I always start my water with 500 mils, though sometimes I don't use it. It's either I put half of the jack, because my jack is 500 mil, half the jack or full jack, and then I go from there. I add bit by bit. Adding water onto anything, it is safer for it to always be bit by bit. In that way you prevent yourself from finding yourself using a lot more water than you were supposed to. And I just added dark soy sauce onto the pan. You must be very careful with the soy sauce, the dark one more so, because a little bit too much can go horribly wrong. It wouldn't taste bad, but the look, it would not be what you want, this is the sauce that you would make if you were making General Tso's chicken. You would do this the way I'm doing it. You can take the onion out, but this is how you do it. This is how it tastes good. And I haven't made General Tso in a while, so I might make it a little bit in a few days to come. And I added a bit of balsamic vinegar. It's not necessary, but I just wanted that kick. And I added onion and garlic powder, and I added dry parsley, and I added yellow salt onto my pan, and I'm going to combine that, stir them in onto the sauce, and that is it. Guys, what I just realized, that growing up emakhaya kukhaya, we had sishabo, we had onions. Had we known that you could take oil, onions and salt and flour and make a soup out of, we would always have sishabo. Don't you guys think so? Pela, this is gravy, like finish. If you have guests, or if you are cooking or hosting and you've cooked food that needs a relish, and you have people that don't consume tomatoes because of the acid, you can make this minus the balsamic vinegar, and you have a sauce, proper sauce, and you can put this on your steak. You can even do this with mushroom if you want to. Instead of creamy mushroom sauce, you can make creamy mushroom and onion sauce. And this is done. I'm going to add it on to my cooked pasta. Cook your pasta according to the package, and make sure that you don't overcook your pasta. Overcooked pasta never looks good. No matter how delicious it tastes, it does not look good. We eat with our eyes before we taste the food. What our eyes tells us is exactly what is going to make us want to eat the food. So I'm going to stir it in. We are coating our pasta. We are not saucing it. We are coating it with the onion sauce. We are flavoring the pasta. You can have this on its own without having anything on the side, but I know my family is going to ask me, where's the meat? So I decided this is how I'm going to make it, and voila, this is how my plate looks or my bowl looks. So I hope you guys try this at home. You can add chicken onto your pasta and it'll be a decent meal. Thank you so much for being here. As always, I appreciate you, and I hope to see you on another Cook With Me Saturday lunch. Bye.